a family moves into a centuries-old home and uncovers its ominous history.
The list went on. Murders to mass murders, you name it, it happened.
What begins with mysterious noises.
What is that?
Here you go, Casey.
And an imaginary friend turns into something so dark, so evil.
It was trying to kill me. I'm fighting with all my might.
Only a higher power can save them.
Jay!
It will never back down. It will go out and destroy you any way that it can.
You're all going to die.
In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. New England's idyllic countryside attracts many families looking to put down roots in its picture postcard communities.
It was a very nice area, and it was kind of on the upper scale. We thought it was going to be a nice area, good schools to raise a family.
Jay Yable and his family are lucky to move into an historic late 18th century house near the town center.
It was a large home, and it was something that I could call my own, and the price was more than reasonable at the time.
Jay is retired military and now works as a maintenance supervisor at a nearby office complex.
Got some water for you.
Oh, yes!
His wife, Elka, works as a medical assistant.
Oh my gosh, babe. It is so much bigger than I remembered.
Welcome to the American dream.
When I first met Elka, her upbeat spirit, that's what kind of drew me to her. I think we knew right from the beginning that it was going to be a match.
You take a break.
Girls?
The spacious home seems the perfect place to raise their twin girls, Alex and Riley.
Huh? What do you think?
It looks like the biggest, most beautiful dollhouse ever. It's all ours, even the trees?
Even the trees.
Jay can't wait to show off the house to his friend Mike Sokol.
Oh, right here. Oh, yeah.
Jay and I grew up together, attended each other's weddings, children's births, baptisms.
Helping us move, man, that goes beyond friendship.
I've known him since I was like 5 years old. We were best friends. He's like a brother to me.
Man, you are really moving on up. Just look at this.
Girls, please don't get in Daddy's way.
Hey, come back here, you little rascals!
You're wearing me out.
Hey,
Yes.
I know you have your reservations.
Yes.
Look,
When Jay and Elka found the house, it was a little more of a hard sell for her.
after we unpack,
And spackle, and paint, and fix these creaky floors. Oh, it's a lot of work.
I said, once we start to decorate it and make it look nice, it's going to become your home. It's going to be something special.
Hey, Jay, come on, get in here, I need you!
Yes.
But it's more than just the renovations. Elka's instincts tell her something is not right about the house. Something she can't identify.
Elka's like, I don't like it, something's wrong.
Over the following weeks, painting and major repairs are done, and the family settles into a comfortable routine.
tell me again why we use a baby monitor for our kids, as old as they are.
Because your children like to wake up in the middle of the night and go exploring. You remember the time we caught Riley heading out the back door at midnight to find the cat? Whoa, hello. Whoa.
Mommy, can we have some?
Okay, but just one, because I do not want you to spoil your dinner. Excuse me, I said just one.
But this one's for Casey.
That would be their new imaginary friend.
My daughters would talk about sometimes they would play with somebody, a girl in their room, and we thought it was just imaginary friends like a lot of kids would have.
That one's for Casey.
You are something else.
For 7 months, all has been relatively tranquil in the house, until one night.
Jay?
What is that?
I have no idea.
Somebody or something is banging on the walls. Boom, boom, boom.
Could be the pipes. An old house like this.
Wait, listen.
It was like someone scratching on a wall with claws.
Over here.
Sounds like it's coming from all around us. Like something trying to get out.
Or in.
Jay suspects it's neighborhood kids pulling a prank. But there is no one in sight.
I looked on the porch, and at this point, I was dumbfounded.
Anything?
No?
I said, nobody could move that fast.
Weird.
A few nights later, the strange sounds continue. This time from the audio monitor connected to the twins' bedroom.
Jay, did you leave the TV on?
No.
What is that noise?
Static.
I shouldn't be doing that. What's wrong with it? Oh, this thing.
You're all going to die.
Oh my God, the girls! The girls!
In 2006, the Apel family moves into a late 18th century house in suburban Connecticut. At first, all is calm, but a few months later, they begin hearing strange noises they can't explain.
What is that?
Things are happening, and I have no idea what's going on.
One night, the mysterious sounds grow threatening when a message comes across the audio monitor from their daughter's bedroom.
You're all going to die.
You hear this voice, and it says, you all are going to die.
Oh my God, the girls! The girls!
We jumped up, We ran right into the kids' room. And there was nothing.
They're fine.
They were sound asleep.
No one's here. No one's been here.
Elka's initial wariness about the house now turns to fear.
There's something wrong with this house, Jay. I'm telling you. There's something wrong with this house.
She knew there was too many coincidences that weren't adding up, and she was convinced at this point there was something really bad in the house. I'm like, just calm down. I said, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. I'm trying to rationalize things.
But there is nothing logical about these sounds. One afternoon, Jay stays home from work to take care of the girls when Elka comes down with the flu.
Oh, thank you.
Would you like some more tea, honey?
No, I'm fine. Thank you, though.
After moving into the house, Elka changed a little bit. She seemed to become ill more.
Jay?
Yeah, I heard it.
What is that?
Sounds like someone upstairs.
You could hear someone taking like a cane or stick and going up and down on the side of the kid's bed.
Casey's here.
Casey is Riley's imaginary friend. But Jay doesn't believe in the invisible. As an ex-soldier trained for combat, he decides to take action against the intruder.
I went to my room and I grabbed my weapon. My heart's beating fast. I'm praying. I don't ever want to have to shoot somebody in my house.
Jay finds no one and nothing disturbed in Alex and Riley's room. And the sounds grow more insistent.
And it was loud, like somebody's really angry. Whoever was in the house was actually right above my head. And I figured if there was somebody up there, I had them because they were in the attic and there was no way out. There was nothing. There was nobody.
I don't get it. What were those noises?
I told you. Something is not right.
Elka is starting to think that the house is haunted. I would say that there's got to be a logical explanation. Maybe what we really heard wasn't footsteps, or maybe it wasn't the rapping sounds. Maybe it's the old house creaking or settling.
Weeks pass, and Elka grows more afraid.
She'd be like, you know, I don't feel safe in this house. There's something going on. She would feel like someone would be standing back and watching her.
Deep in the heart of New England, a family of 4 is haunted by mysterious sounds they can't explain.
You're all going to die.
Wherever she goes, Elke Yapel senses something in the house.
Elke had come to Jay and said, I think there's some kind of spirits in our house. And of course, I was skeptical.
One afternoon, Elke feels the presence growing stronger. Elke thinks she's safe, but there's no escaping.
Jay! Jay!
The toys just went off altogether, and they were getting louder and louder.
Stop it!
Every single toy stopped simultaneously.
Enough! I want out of this house! I want out of this house!
Honey?
After the toy incidents, I started believing there was something really wrong. I kept thinking maybe if it was a ghost, it was somebody who lived there and didn't like us being in their house.
Unable to take his wife's distress any longer, Jay goes on a mission.
That's when I decided I was gonna go down to the town hall and start doing research to see if anybody died in the house.
Town records indicate the house was built in the late 1700s. And right away, Jay notices something peculiar.
The house was bought by somebody, a year later it was sold, bought, 6 months later sold, a year and a half sold, 7 years sold. And this is a pattern.
Jay makes another sobering discovery.
What's up, buddy?
Mike,
Jay shares his findings with his best friend.
there have been a lot of deaths in this house.
What?
Look at this.
Jay finds over a dozen murders, suicides, and accidental deaths related to the house.
And not just people that lived here, but friends, neighbors, people associated with the house.
He found that there was a lengthy history of really bizarre occurrences. So that kind of put a little, chill down my back. I'm like, whoa.
I started believing the house is haunted.
We are trying to contact the spirit or entity in this house. Reveal yourself.
Jay contacts Orlando Ferranti, head of the Paranormal Research Society of Connecticut, a non-profit group of paranormal investigators.
Anything?
Maybe there's nothing here.
Oh no. I can feel something.
When I got into the home, you could just feel the oppression and the negative energy in that household. I've never felt that kind of energy before in my life. It's just a cesspool of negativity. I walked around the house with a recording device and some EMF detectors.
EMF detectors measure electromagnetic fields. An energy spike indicates possible paranormal activity.
I wasn't getting any abnormal readings, but I still felt this oppression. I was very concerned about this negative energy because it was watching me. It did not want me there.
Orlando.
Suddenly, the team's psychic picks up on the energy.
All of a sudden, the spirit is talking through his body. The psychic changed from his normal, quiet personality into this arrogant, nasty, demonic.
Are you the entity who controls this house? Who are you? Name yourself.
You are all going to die. You are going to hell.
Why do you torment this family? You want somebody? Come after me!
Ever since the Yapel family moved into a historic New England house, they have felt a dark presence. And when Jay uncovers more than a dozen murders, suicides, and accidental deaths related to the house, the former military man has no choice but to believe.
I live in a haunted house. I'm starting to get very frightened. There's something that is pure evil.
Jay reaches out to paranormal experts to investigate the house, when suddenly the psychic channels a dark entity.
You are all going to die.
And things turn violent.
Lily! Are you all right? Are you okay?
Anything with that kind of power that can pick up a human being and throw them is something demonic.
Orlando suspects the number of deaths related to the house could have attracted a demon.
A lot of that negative energy becomes residual negative energy, and it could attract other negative energies. It's almost like a beacon.
When he mentioned a demon, I was terrified. We were worried about Alex and Riley and their safety, along with our safety.
Orlando promises he will put together a plan to help them.
He wanted to get all kinds of evidence so he could bring to the church to have the church authorize a exorcism on the house.
A week later,
there was this girl, like she just came back from a dance or something. She was trying to kill me. I'm fighting with all my might, and I'm not a small guy, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm fighting. I'm like, this is a bad dream. I wanted to yell for Elka, and I couldn't speak. My voice was gone. All of a sudden, it was like a popping sound. And it was gone. What a nightmare. What a horrible nightmare.
Or so he thinks. The following morning, to Jay's horror, the nightmare appears to have been real.
That scared me to the core.
What happened?
I don't know.
I kept playing a scenario over my head. Why did it happen? What was it? Could it come back? Could it attack my girls? Could it attack my wife?
Jay consults with a paranormal expert who believes he knows what happened.
He experienced phantomania, which is basically the experience of being frozen, if you will. The energy is being sucked out of you and being used by the spirit.
He thinks the entity that attacked Jay could be a shape-shifting demon.
It's possible that this negative energy or demonic entity could be changing its form. It could change itself to a female, it could change itself to a child, it could change itself to even an animal.
Orlando also has bad news for Jay. He won't be coming back.
And there's no way I can come back to the house anymore.
The demon is affecting his family.
I had to back out of the investigation.
I understand.
My kids come first, and they were being traumatized by something unseen. My oldest son, for a week straight, had these nightmares, these horrible nightmares of an old man with a decrepit-looking face.
They were actually getting visions of my house in their heads.
I had to back away, but I didn't want to give up trying to help Jay.
I wanted to take my family at that point and run. I couldn't.
Everything the Yapel family owns is tied up in the house.
I had to stay and fight, and I was fighting alone.
The family was becoming more isolated. Everyone just didn't want to attend his house. I felt terrible. We've been friends for years, 30 plus years. And there's nothing I can do to help him.
Would you like some more cake? Yes, please.
Jay is frightened for his family, but relieved his daughters appear immune from danger.
It seemed like it had boundaries. It has like rules of engagement. This entity would go after Elko or try to scare me.
Would you like some more tea? Yes, please.
For some reason, this thing would not go after my children.
Don't forget Casey. Here you go, Casey.
Elka is less optimistic about their chances. She copes by maintaining a normal routine.
Jay? Jay!
What?
Do you hear it?
No.
I swear there was something here and it was watching me. Just listen.
I heard something, and it sounded like it was on 2 hoofs.
What is that?
Really, really scared me.
For 2 years, the Yapel family has been living in a centuries-old mansion with a dark secret, a past filled with sadness and death. Could this unsettling history have invited a shape-shifting demon into the home?
I've seen what a really bad entity is. It was so terrifying.
Just listen.
One night, the demon traps Jay and Elka in their attic.
We could actually hear this hoofed animal, and you could see the footprints. Total fear went over me. I have a big fear of the devil himself. That's what was going in my mind. It was actually the devil himself. This thing could see me, I couldn't see it. I was like, we're dead meat, you know, we're screwed. I can't do anything.
It stopped. Can we go?
Slow.
Okay.
Desperate to protect his family, Jay calls in Bob Baker of Connecticut Paranormal Investigators, an expert in demonic hauntings.
Thank you so much for coming. Where would you like?
He immediately senses something.
Whatever was in that house met me right at the door. And you could feel the oppression there. Let's start upstairs. Come on. The Yapels were very scared. I could see that they have already been through hell. They weren't sleeping. That was affecting their health.
Bob and his team measure the electromagnetic field in the house to detect for paranormal activity.
I think we got something here. Do you hear that?
We actually heard something come walking down the attic stairs. It sounded like it weighed about 500 pounds. We didn't know whether to run or to stay.
Whoa, what happened? Are you all right?
My back started burning.
Wow.
I had like 9 scratches on my back.
It was like somebody took a whip and just whipped Bob.
It's very painful. It's just like getting scratched by a human. It's the same feeling. It draws blood and it hurts just as bad.
Bob believes an attack such as this could indicate the presence of a special kind of demon called a Wendigo.
The Wendigo type of demon can be very vicious. They hate us and they just want us dead. In many cases, the demon is there first. You kind of acquire it when you move in.
According to Bob, moving may not help the Yapel family get rid of the demon.
If the Yapels had gotten out right away, within the first 6 months, they probably would have gotten away with not having too much of a problem afterwards. But because they stayed so long, an attachment does form. You have to fight the battle where it starts. If you move away, then this thing will just torment you for the rest of your life.
You're all going to die.
That was really disturbing. I knew this thing could follow me and wreak more havoc on my life.
I was concerned about them being in the house. Jay seemed genuinely afraid and concerned for his family. He was overwhelmed by it. It was almost consuming him.
Jay turns to his faith for strength.
I was becoming more religious. If something's out to hurt me and it's negative, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction and become stronger with my faith.
Bob reassures Jay that he will bring over a Dominican order bishop who is a world-renowned exorcist. The bishop can't come right away. The Yaples have no choice but to wait, hoping the haunting will not grow more dangerous.
I don't want to go in that house.
I know.
All right, girls. Got your dolly. Watch your fingers.
Okay, you ready?
Hey, hun. I'm gonna go get the mail.
Okay.
Papa,
Yeah, baby.
Casey's getting mad.
Casey's your imaginary friend, right?
You have to tell Jesus to stay away from the house.
I said, why would you say that? Riley says to me, she goes, Casey doesn't like you, Papa.
That's not a very nice thing for Casey to say, sweetheart. Casey is bad. All right? I don't think you should listen to her.
In suburban Connecticut, the Yaple family is tormented by a shape-changing demon some call a Wendigo. Their best hope is to have a world-renowned bishop perform an exorcism of the house, an ancient ritual to cast out demons. The bishop reassures the family he will come as soon as he's able.
Okay.
But it won't be soon enough.
Papa,
Yeah, baby.
Casey's getting mad.
All of a sudden, you can hear the truck start rolling backwards, and Elka almost goes under the wheel.
Jay!
Elka!
The truck would have rolled over Elka and actually killed her.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Jay now realizes the twins have been interacting with an evil entity, but feels powerless to stop it.
The imaginary friend Casey was becoming more and more dangerous. So now I'm totally desperate. I'm worried about my children. I'm worried about Elka. She almost got killed. Now I really need to have an exorcist come in.
The day comes when the bishop arrives to perform an exorcism of the house.
You girls ready for the baptism?
He begins by rebaptizing Alex and Riley.
We already had them baptized.
I baptize thee in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
And he says, no. He goes, they're being baptized by me.
And the Holy Spirit.
The bishop talked to Riley about the imaginary friends. And then he took us thumb and made the sign of the cross over and told her not to speak any more of them, that they cannot hurt her or touch her, and to let them go.
Glorious Father.
Then the bishop begins the rite of exorcism.
Save this servant from the enemy. Glorious Father. Save thy servant from the enemy. Gloria Patri.
Jay!
Save this servant from the enemy.
When the bishop first came in, the house was tense and very angry. And then after he left, the house felt calm and mild.
We noticed an immediate change in the house. It felt lighter.
He does. He mows the grass.
Look
at night.
Food, drinks.
You read my mind.
Elka noticed the change. She was like, I actually kind of feel good.
You know, you spilled some on the table.
You know?
That's all right. It's paid for.
So if that's the worst that happens, I think we're okay.
After everything we've been through.
Everything's back to normal.
Since that day, paranormal activity has returned to the Yapel house.
The bishop, I believe, did weaken it to the point where we can actually live in the house.
The ultimate mystery, whether a demon somehow entered the home and triggered years of violence, or if various violent events somehow attracted a demon, is one that will likely never be solved.
The violence in that house was just so overwhelming over the years.
Jay!
I believe there was probably a demon in this house right from the beginning.
The Yapels plan to move once they can sell the house.
I would hope they move. Or we burn the house to the ground, one of the two. And I don't know how you get rid of it. You can't kill, you can't blow it up. I said, we gotta pray. That's all we have left.
It's so hard to live with it. You want to get out, you pray, somebody will come up and say, hey, I'll buy your house for you, move. I wish the town would just buy it or someone would buy it and just destroy it.
Until then, Jay Yapel soldiers on.
I'm fighting an endless war against something that's unseen and that I have no defense over, and I just have to keep my eyes open.
A family moves into their dream home and is given fair warning.
I had the locks changed because of intruders.
Can we be friends?
But when their 4-year-old begins interacting with a stranger,
Jacob did this.
Shailyn was seeing something that we couldn't.
is it a prowler? Or an evil ghost with a burning vendetta?
Emily! There was a bite mark on her shoulder with 666 branded next to it. You want to protect your kid and you can't because you can't see what's there.
The battle lines are drawn between good and evil. In America, there is real evil. It lurks in the darkest shadows and in our most ordinary towns. Between the worlds we see and the things we fear, there are doors. When they are opened, nightmares become reality. On the outskirts of the capital city of Des Moines lies a town surrounded by flat farmland as far as the eye can see. It's a mere speck on the map, population 303. Linda Adkins has lived in the area her entire life. In 2006, she moved to Bagley when her husband built them a brand new farmhouse.
Look, we made you.
Let me see.
When her husband passed away, Linda offered to sell it to her grandson Craig and his family at a low price.
Thanks for watching, girls. Oh, thank you. We had such a good
Girls, if you're gonna play in the yard, I don't want you to go near the woods.
Craig's new bride, Kimberly, is thrilled for herself and her 2 young daughters, Shailyn and Zaylina.
We decided to move down here and give the kids a place to run out on an acreage, and Craig and I were both ecstatic.
Before departing, Craig's grandmother offers a word of caution.
Yeah. Before I forget, these are the new keys. I had the locks changed because of intruders.
Intruders? out here?
Well, you can't be too careful. The highway's not very far from here.
Well, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Despite the warning, the house is a dream come true.
I really cared about the house. It was like a new beginning.
I should probably go unpack more.
Craig works in window manufacturing in one of the last remaining factories in town. Bagley was first settled in 1881 with the building of a railroad station. By the turn of the century, it became a thriving industrial town until the railroad closed. One by one, the factories disappeared.
I grew up in Bagley. There used to be plants and factories and gas stations in the town. They've all closed down.
But despite the town's depressed past, for Craig and his new bride, the 4-bedroom house marks a new beginning.
When you walk in the home, you enter to almost 40-foot vaulted ceiling straight up, and it's all open. It was just amazing.
Kimberly and Craig met a few months ago and instantly hit it off.
We met on an online dating site, and as soon as he met me and the girls, we just knew it was meant to be for our family.
Do you have an ace? Oh. Mom is
Still
getting
Mommy's turn.
old.
It was just kind of a mutual connection. We fell in love within seconds of talking.
Do you have a king?
Unfortunately, I do.
Okay, fantastic. I'm gonna go again. Do you have a 3?
No.
Oh.
It was just an instant fit. It was like putting a piece of the puzzle, last piece in.
What's your favorite part of the house?
The playroom, because it has all the toys, and that's the most fun, the toys. Mine was the playroom, too.
This home, it was somewhere that we were gonna raise the 2 kids for the rest of their life.
The family settles in, but it doesn't take long for Kimberly, a stay-at-home mom, to feel like she's not alone.
Girls, I know I told you to pick up your toys.
I felt like somebody was watching us. Kind of got that feeling to look over your shoulder all the time, that somebody was standing right behind you. And you would look over and there would be nobody there. And I thought it was just me trying to get used to a new home, and I was just on edge.
Kimberly tries to ignore her instincts, but each day, the feeling that someone is in the house grows stronger.
Come on, Shailene, into bed.
Do fish take naps, too?
I'm sure they do, sweetie, if their mommies ask them to. All right, let's go.
I was laying the girls down for nap, normal nap time, normal routine.
All right, got your blanket?
Will you please leave the light on?
Of course, sweetie, just like always.
As soon as I got out of the room, the door slammed on me.
Girls, what's going on?
At first, I thought it was the girls, but then I realized that they were laying down on their bed, and there's no way they could have done that. I realized the window was open. I thought maybe the wind could have slammed the door shut. I didn't think too much of it.
Okay, nap time for real this time.
A few days later, 4-year-old Shailene has made a new friend.
What's your name? Does This is my doll. I put this dress on her because she loves pink. She also has like 3 other friends that I like dressing up to. Where did you come from? You don't talk much. I'm Shylin. Can we be friends?
I heard Shylin talking in the playroom.
You like your doll?
It was like she was talking to somebody that was sitting there.
Yeah, her dress is so pretty, right?
But nobody was there.
Can I join in?
Sure, I guess so. Jacob won't mind.
Who's Jacob?
My new friend.
Where did you meet him?
He was walking around the house, so I asked him his name, and he said his name was Jacob.
Kimberly is stunned, and to her horror, Shylin describes the man in surprising detail.
She said he was tall, and that he was very dirty, and he had dark hair, and he had dark coveralls on.
He wears torn up work clothes, and he also wears boots. A little bit like Daddy.
And he had work boots on like her daddy's.
He lives here, so we're friends now.
Kimberly doesn't know what to think. Is it possible Shylin's been seeing one of the intruders Craig's grandmother warned about? That night, she brings it up with Craig.
How was your day? Girls liking the new place okay?
Well, Shylin has an imaginary friend. Apparently his name is Jacob.
Jacob, huh? Well, she's just using her imagination.
I don't know, it was weird. She talked about him like he was real. I mean, she even told me that he was wearing a coverall and boots. Like you.
Like me, huh? Honey, don't worry about it. Just having fun. Let's get some sleep, okay? Gotta get up early.
When she told me that, I just thought Shylin was being a normal kid.
Craig. Did you hear something?
Ever since Craig Atkins, his new bride Kimberly, and her 2 daughters moved into Craig's grandparents' house in Iowa, Kimberly can't shake the feeling they are not alone.
I felt like somebody was watching us. You kind of got that feeling to look over your shoulder all the time.
This is my doll.
Can I join in?
Sure, Jacob won't mind.
And when her 4-year-old daughter Shylin says she's befriended a man in the house, Kimberly grows concerned.
Shylin told us her new friend's name was Jacob. She told us that he had coveralls on and that he looked like he worked and that he was dirty.
Could Jacob be more than an imaginary playmate?
I looked up and seen a shadow of a man, and I thought we were gonna be attacked.
Hey!
I immediately went into dad mode. I went after this guy.
I was petrified. I thought somebody was in our house, and we were dead that night.
After a thorough search of the house, Craig finds no intruder and nothing missing. Craig breaks the news to Kimberly.
Hey. I checked the whole house, all right? I checked everything. There's nobody here.
No, I saw someone, Craig.
Honey, listen, I did too. I checked everything. Everything is locked up tight. We're safe, all right?
Well, I'm gonna sleep with the girls tonight because I don't want them to be alone.
Listen, you have nothing to worry. Everything's gonna be fine.
We thought it was somebody breaking in, and no alarms went off, and all the doors were still locked.
To set the family at ease, Craig changes all the locks.
He just did what a husband would do. He figured he works nights, he didn't want somebody coming in.
But for Kimberly, it's still not enough.
I went from the terrorized fear stage to the angry stage. I was mad because I felt like I was not protecting my kids. From that moment on, I kept a more close eye on the girls.
For the next few weeks, the family tries to focus on life as usual.
I just try to ignore the activity and get our life back to the way it was.
Spring arrives with the promise of new beginnings. But inside the house, something is still not right.
Did you see some dolphins?
Yeah.
So what was your favorite animal at the zoo?
I like the monkeys.
Craig, get in here!
Mommy, my fish!
We went into the bedroom to go watch a movie with the girls, and the whole room was just completely ransacked, just trashed.
What happened?
I don't know. Oh my gosh.
What's going on?
It was just a complete mess, and it looked like a tornado had came through there. We knew it couldn't have been the kids.
Whole house is locked, Kimberly. I walked in here and it was like this.
Yes.
There was no way somebody entered that home.
But one person knows who is behind this. Shailin.
I know who did this.
Sweetie, Mommy and Daddy are talking right now.
But I know who did this.
Okay, sweetheart.
Jacob did this.
Jacob is Shailin's supposed imaginary friend.
I'm Shailin. Here's your doll. What do you want to name her?
Craig is not amused.
Baby, Jacob couldn't do this. If he did, he'd be a naughty boy. Right?
See, Jacob, I told you, you're naughty.
Shailin turned around and looked at something that was straight in front of us. I was just completely shocked, couldn't even get words out. Shailin was seeing something that we couldn't.
For the next few days, Kimberly is constantly on edge and begins to wonder if the shadow of the man they've been seeing around the house is a ghost.
At this point, I was stressed, very nervous. I knew something was going on in the home. I mean, when you see stuff moved, when you see things flipped, when you hear things, you know something's going on. And what else do you say? It's haunted.
Fear is now part of the family's daily routine, and the newlyweds' relationship begins to unravel.
What are we gonna do?
About what?
We were all very stressed of what was going on.
Kim and I started fighting, and that was not like us at all.
About the house, Craig. Something is obviously going on.
And I told him that this was more than just unusual things, that something was seriously wrong. He wanted to protect me and the girls, and he just didn't know how to do it.
Did you move this?
She turned around and asked me why I moved the pan. I was like, I didn't move the pan.
Honey, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Kimberly. Come here. Listen, come here. I know you're scared. I am too, and I know there's something going on here. I don't know.
Craig, it moved again.
All of a sudden, the pan started moving by itself.
Hey, Mom, I wanted to try
Soon after moving into an Iowa farmhouse, a family of 4 begins sensing a stranger is in the house. But when Craig and Kimberly go after the intruder, he vanishes. Is he a prowler or a ghost? Kimberly's 4-year-old daughter, Shailyn, describes the man as a mischievous, imaginary friend. But what started as the innocent musings of a child has turned violent.
Hey, Mom, I wanted to try
Suddenly, the pan started flying towards us.
Jacob, you stop.
Jacob? We were very scared.
Get her out of here.
Come on, Zoe.
When you see stuff moved, when you get attacked, you know something's going on.
Craig begins to wonder if the home is haunted. But there is nothing in its past to explain the presence of a ghost. His grandparents built the house just a few years ago and were the only ones who ever lived there.
I wanted to know how it could be happening in a new built house when nobody's ever died in the house.
Kimberly and Craig decide to research the history of the property.
So we went down to the public library, and I couldn't find anything in public records. So I started talking to the secretary. She had to be in her 80s.
Did you find records on our house?
I'm sorry, I couldn't find a thing. You know, we actually don't have anything before 1950.
1950?
The town really didn't have a records office until then. But I do know this property.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Isn't it right off the highway?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can remember when they tore down that old chemical plant, what was left of it.
Chemical plant.
Oh, yes.
She told me she lived in town most of her life, and she was telling us about a plant that burned down.
It turns out the chemical plant was located on the very same land where their house now stands.
Anyway, that plant brought so much work to this town. It was just really sad when it burned down.
Well, how did it burn down?
I don't think they ever found out the cause, really. But my husband was one of the first firemen that responded. And 3 young men lost their lives in that fire. It was a terrible, terrible accident. I'm sorry. I hope you'll be happy there anyway.
This really hit the town hard because one was 18 or 19 and the other one was in his 20s. She only knew 2 names. One was Joshua and one was Jacob.
Hey! Jacob did this.
Who's Jacob?
My new friend.
This was really the moment for us that it all clicked. We knew there was a ghost and that his name was Jacob. We knew this kid was real.
Kimberly and Craig are horrified at the way Jacob and the other young men met their fate.
We were upset, and we really didn't know what to expect with Jacob. We didn't know if he was trying to contact us or if he was trying to hurt us.
The family decides to pray for Jacob, hoping this will help him rest in peace.
Felt pretty bad. He was only 18 years old when he died.
Me and the girls went and bought flowers, and we put them on the side end of our house.
All right, well, let's all say a prayer now for Jacob. Close your eyes. Lord, we just want to thank you for Jacob, and we pray as we lay him to rest that you would just grant him peace, and we pray that you would bless the rest of his day and keep us safe. Amen. All right, let's get you guys back inside.
I'll raise you.
I told Jacob that I was sorry for what happened. but our family wasn't trying to hurt him. And then everything stopped. The house went quiet. I was more than hopeful things were gonna get better. I thought he would just go away.
But will faith alone be enough to stop Jacob's terror? For months, a ghost named Jacob has been haunting the Iowa home of newlyweds Craig and Kimberly and her 2 daughters.
Craig, it moved again.
Hey, Mom. I'm Charlotte.
According to the local librarian, Jacob lost his life on their land in a chemical factory fire in 1936. When he was just 18.
People died on that property. I had no idea what to think after that.
To make peace with the ghost, Kimberly builds a makeshift memorial for him and prays for his soul.
Thank you for Jacob, and we
were really hoping that by telling Jacob that we were sorry and that we'll never forget him, that it'd just make it go away. I was more than hopeful things were gonna get better.
But the family quickly realizes that hope is a weak defense against Jacob's supernatural powers.
Me and Craig was cuddled up in bed. Girls were sound asleep.
It's the girls.
All of a sudden, I heard these blood-curdling screams. I ran over there, Craig ran over there.
Girls, what's wrong? What happened?
Mommy, the bad man's back.
What?
What bad man? You mean Jacob?
Did he hurt you?
No. He said...
What did he say?
He said he was gonna kill you and kill Daddy.
All right, come here, sweetie.
She told us that Jacob was going to kill us.
Even though I was telling my daughter that Jacob couldn't harm us, I knew that he could. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do.
That night, Kimberly and Craig moved the girls into their bedroom to keep a close eye on them.
We started getting into it.
You know this isn't a real
I
solution.
know. Of course I know that. Let's just get through tonight, okay?
We were on eggshells. We were all very stressed, and it wasn't with each other, because when we were outside the house, our family was happy, and when you entered that home, you felt your energy drained.
Get some sleep.
Okay.
Let's stay up and keep watch, all right?
Craig was trying to hold a brave face, but he didn't know what to do. He wanted to protect us, but how? We knew we needed professional help, and if we didn't get that help, we were afraid Jacob was gonna hurt somebody.
The family reaches out to Paranormal Research and Investigations Fort Dodge for help.
When I spoke with Kimberly, she was desperate, but she wasn't showing it. I told her that was good, not to show fear.
You set? We're good to go. Okay.
Immediately, I knew George was a trustworthy person and that he was gonna help our family.
For their safety, Kimberly's daughters are not present. While one member uses an infrared video camera and attempts to capture electronic voice phenomena, the lead investigator takes his position on the floor against a wall.
I will not expose myself 360 degrees because I will be vulnerable for for any attack anywhere around me.
I'm speaking to the spirit in this house. I'm not here to torment you. I'm here to ask for your help. Do you understand?
I try to hold a conversation with whatever is there.
Let me know you're here.
My goal is to try and find out the reason why they're earthbound.
Hours pass when suddenly,
I think I see something. Hey, George, come here.
I caught at least 3 different irregular anomalies. I enhanced it and I cleaned it up, and
it appears to be a human face.
you could see the outline of his forehead, his nose, his mouth, his chin, and his neck. It was definitely a face.
The picture that we were looking at was Jacob. He showed himself.
Based on the tragic history of what took place here, George has a theory about why Jacob is haunting the home.
I believe that Jacob was angry because of the way he died. He wasn't ready to leave this world. I don't think anyone would want to be burned alive. I think it would be a horrible death.
That's why he was haunting us. He was angry to see somebody so happy in the house being so young when he didn't get that time to live.
He had a vendetta against society itself.
George advises the family to find a religious leader to cleanse the home of the evil Jacob. But until that time, Kimberly and her daughters continue sleeping in the same bedroom, while Craig keeps watch just outside.
We were scared that Jacob was becoming aggressive and we didn't know what was going to happen next.
I knew that Jacob was after my family.
Oh my God.
All of a sudden, I looked up and see blood dripping off our ceiling.
Get the girls!
Wake up! Girls!
For months, a young family has been terrorized by the ghost of Jacob.
He said he was gonna kill you and kill Daddy.
A teenager who was burned alive on their property over 70 years ago. Paranormal experts advise the family to have the house cleansed of the spirit before he grows angrier. But help won't come soon enough.
I asked Craig what was dripping off our ceiling. It was blood coming through from the other side.
Get the girls!
Jim and I were terrified.
I thought Jacob was trying to tell us this could be us next. We were freaked out. We got the girls up, we left.
For the next few days, the family stays with relatives.
We really felt like Jacob was trying to show us that he was more powerful than us. We knew if we didn't get help, we were afraid Jacob was going to hurt somebody worse.
Kimberly meets with a demonologist to perform a cleansing to rid the house of any negative entities.
She prepared me before I even went in with her. She told me that it was going to get very violent.
We may see things today that you'll want to forget. Just read and ignore anything else that's going on.
The demonologist has prepared a reading that includes passages from the Bible meant to drive the dark spirit from their home.
In thee, O Lord, I take refuge. Let me never more be confounded.
She and I read from a scripture, blessing the home.
Be unto me a rock of protection.
She told me straight up, keep reading, do not detour from the script. If you do, it's gonna be worse.
In thee, O Lord, I take refuge.
A table slid across the whole room. I was terrified.
It's okay. Keep praying, please. Keep praying, keep praying. Let me never more be confounded. Deliver me. Bow down thine ear to me, and make haste to rescue me. Be unto me a rock of protection, a fortified stronghold. For thou art my rock and my fortress.
Things were getting thrown at us. It was becoming more and more chaotic.
Bow down thine ear to me. In thee, O Lord, I take refuge. Be unto me a rock of protection, a fortified stronghold to save me.
Then, silence.
Amen. Let's go.
Once she was completely done, it was like peace in the house. Every dark room seemed to be like 3 or 4 shades lighter, like nothing was there anymore.
Kimberly is in disbelief. Could Jacob really be gone? Days pass, and life remains tranquil.
I had the girls come back home. They slept in their beds. We were at peace.
I felt like I got my house back.
Kimberly attempts to resume life as usual.
Me and the girls were playing.
What happened to the light?
Uh-oh, must be going to rain.
All of a sudden, the whole house just went dark. You couldn't see anything, and it was broad daylight out. And you could just tell something evil was in the home.
Girls, come here.
In an instant, Kimberly's hopes are dashed. This is the last straw.
At that point, I couldn't handle much more.
Stop it! Why can't you just leave us alone?
I was at my wit's end, and I just freaked out on Jacob and told him to stop.
Please just leave us alone. Please just leave us alone.
And the whole house went light.
That night, when Craig returns from work, Kimberly confronts him.
Oh, thank goodness you're back. The house went dark. I mean, it was pitch black. I'm telling you, Jacob is back.
I thought we took care of this.
No, he's still here. I want to leave, please.
I was really upset about what was going on. I knew this was Jacob.
Craig tries his best to calm Kimberly down, but each of them knows they're trapped.
You know we can't move, okay?
We had talked about moving, but we couldn't afford it. We just put a bunch of money in the house.
We knew if we walked out of the house, we were gonna lose everything that we had. We didn't have somewhere else to go.
You smell that?
Suddenly, the couple smells something foul.
Know that smell?
Craig immediately recognizes the odor. Farm fertilizer.
My husband, he's done farming for a long time. He said it was identical.
But it's as if the fertilizer is burning.
Oh my God, the girl's room.
It almost smelled like gas, like chemicals being cooked.
Girls? What the hell? I can't open it! Girls, can you hear me? Silence! Selena!
In a house outside of Des Moines, Iowa, a family is terrorized by a violent ghost who died in a chemical factory fire on their land decades earlier.
Bow down thine ear to me.
A paranormal expert is brought in to cleanse the house of the evil entity.
Once she was completely done, it was like nothing was there anymore.
Amen.
We were very desperate just to be done and our life back to the way it was.
A few days after the cleansing, Kimberly and Craig suddenly smell something unusual. Anhydrous ammonia.
It just smelled like chemicals being cooked. It smelled just like anhydrous. You couldn't even hardly breathe in there and you were coughing and gagging.
The girls' room.
It just smelled really bad. I knew exactly that it was anhydrous.
Girls? What the hell? I can't open it! Girls, can you hear me? Are you okay?
Anhydrous ammonia is a common agricultural fertilizer, the kind of chemical that would have been fabricated in the plant where Jacob died.
What the hell? There's nothing here.
There's no smoke, no fire.
Where's Selena? Selena?
Where's your sister?
Selena! Where are you, girl?
Are you
There you are, honey. Come here. Are you okay? Watch out, watch out. What hurts, baby? What hurts?
Oh my God,
Kimberly,
Craig,
Kimberly.
Oh my God.
What's up, Butterbeck?
Oh my God. God, what is this?
There was a bite mark on her shoulder with 666 branded next to it.
Oh my God.
It was etched in her skin.
What happened? Jacob did it.
It was scary. It made me angry.
I'm so sorry, baby.
Seeing my daughter like that, I felt like I failed as a dad.
I was trying to tell her it's okay. All I could do is hold her in my arms.
But Jacob isn't through with the family yet.
God. Hear that?
We heard machinery noise.
Honey, get Charlene. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Get her out of here.
We didn't know what was happening. Things were flying at us from every direction. Jacob was after my family, and he was not going to leave us alone.
Anything and everything was moving in that house. You would have thought you were in a tornado.
This was just the last straw. We had to get out of there.
He told me to grab the girls and get them in the car, and we left that night. Jacob was trying to get us out of our home, and he won.
The family seeks refuge with relatives, where they are currently staying until they save up enough money for a new home.
We decided that as long as our family was safe, that it didn't matter where we lived. It was very hard just to walk away from the house that my grandfather had built. That was supposed to be our house.
Craig and Kimberly have no plans to put the house up for sale.
He's probably going to get bulldozed. Nobody is ever going to go through what we've been through at that house. Jacob was beyond the point of evil.
I believe that Jacob's still in the house. This spirit was determined to have vengeance on anyone and everyone in this world because of the way he died. He's placing the blame on us.
While Jacob remains trapped in his fiery hell, the family has grown stronger.
We feel like we can get through anything now.
We did face evil, And we won. We lost nothing. We could be living in a box and I wouldn't care. A house is a house. It's sticks and nails and boards and windows. That's it. As long as my family's happy, that's all that matters.